Okay, so welcome everyone to Surat MuleSoft Meetup number 67. Today's topic will be migration of application from Cloud Hub 1 to Cloud Hub 2, safe harbor statement. Both speaker and host are organizing this meetup in their individual capacity. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirements. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Housekeeping. Recording of this meetup will be uploaded to the event page within 24 hours or as soon as possible. Uh, to make it interactive, you can ask your questions in the chat box, and we'll also have a Q&A at the end of session. So if you have any concern or queries, you can ask in the chat box. So we'll answer that, or I'll ask the speaker to answer them. Also, please rate our meetup, give us feedbacks, you like it or not, or any changes or improvements you think. Yeah. So, organizer, myself and Jitendra, I'll skip myself. And yeah, today's speaker is Roshan. He's from Accenture. Okay. Yeah, I'll hand over to you, Roshan.
Yeah, thank you, Nitesh, for the introduction. So let me share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Uh, as you know, like my name is Roshan Kumar. I'm working in Accenture, so I have a total of 7+ of years of experience, and I got a lots of exposure also to work in different domains. And I also have a good MuleSoft architect experience, responsibly which is responsible for like designing and implementing integration solutions. So today, in this MuleSoft meetup, we are going to cover this agenda, like what is Cloud Hub 2 and features and architecture for the Cloud Hub 2, advantage and limitations, and we'll go for the migration steps, like from CH1.0 to CH2.0. So mainly we will cover this migration topic over here because there are lots of MuleSoft meetup already happened related to Cloud Hub features, architecture details. So yeah, but we'll cover this in brief also, Cloud Hub features and advantage limitations. So what is
Sorry
Cloud
to
Hub?
interrupt, Roshan. Can you maximize your screen, like the presentation mode?
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So what is Cloud Hub 2? So as we are aware, like Cloud Hub 2 is recently uh, come to our application by MuleSoft. Now, why Cloud Hub 2 is required? So let's start from Cloud Hub 1 itself. Like what is happening in Cloud Hub 1? So in Cloud Hub 1, we are whenever we are deploying our application in any worker, so in backend it is getting created as EC2 instance. Okay, and that EC2 instance is installing first Linux operating system. Then on top of that, we are adding Mule runtime, and accordingly we are deploying using anypoint monitoring. Accordingly, we are deploying MuleSoft applications. So if you go for the like two workers, then the same process will happen two times. Now in Cloud Hub 2, we are following the containerization environment format, like that is Kubernetes based itself. Okay, so whenever we will deploy the two applications, it just take the image for the first one and get deployed very easily. And as purpose of the design and as purpose of the development purpose also, it is very easy to understand as comparison to one, easily to deployable, and lots of benefit also, which we'll cover in the next features topic. Yeah, so these are the main features related to Cloud Hub 2. Like Cloud Hub 2 have two spaces, private space and shared space. Shared space is nothing but a multi-tenant space where every API you can deploy, and it is not your personal space. Like there you cannot define your vanity domain itself. And shared space is mainly used like where you do not require to connect with any private cloud or like data center that is available on on-premise itself. So on that condition, it is advisable to go for shared space. And private space is like nothing but a VPC, which we are saying in CH1.0. Accordingly, the same CH1.0, over here it's a private space. Over here you can define your own vanity domain also. You can connect with on-premise data center also, and you can connect with private and a public cloud also. So as I said, like Cloud Hub 2 is like it's a container based application, and so that is very easy to create a new image for this. It's work on Kubernetes itself. And now coming to the third point, the features related to Cloud Hub 2, that is Cloud Hub 2 is deployed in 12 regions globally. It is similar to one also. Cloud Hub 1 also deployed in 12 regions globally. For every shared space, shared space also available in all 12 regions. Okay. And whenever you create the private space, so you can, it is advisable to create private space nearest to your location. Now, application can be deployed on multiple replicas. So, why we need to deploy in multiple replicas? So, if you are deploying your multiple replicas, so what is replica over here? In CH1.2, we are saying as a worker, but in technology terminologies, we are saying in CH2.0 as a replica because it's work on Kubernetes-based architecture. So, it's preferable to say replica itself. So, for high availability, it's recommended to deploy your applications into availability zones so that if any so that your request will get completed as soon as possible, and fault tolerance is also available, like if any availability goes down, so that it will get routed to the next to the remaining availability zones. And there is one more good features, that is a vcourse option, like granular vcore option, like in CH1.2 we have a vcore size like 0.1, 0.2, then 0.5, 1, 4, 2, 4, 8, 16. Like it's a one. There are very big size vcores available over there. But in CS2.2, we have a multiple of 0.5. It start from 0.1 though, 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, 1, then 1.5 to 2.5. So as per our business requirement, we can define minimum vcourse also, because as we are aware that our billing is getting generated on the purpose of vcourse itself, like how many vcourse we have bought from MuleSoft. So so using this option, using this CS2.2, we can uh, deploy in a less vcourse size also, so that it is beneficial at the purpose of the monitoring. Now, cluster mode also we can define in CS2.2. That is for defining the cluster mode, at least we need to select two replicas, so that the information gets shared within two replicas. Now let's go for, yeah. So this rolling update and recreate. So you may aware, like in CS 1.0 also we are deploying applications, and the first applications still active till the next one get deployed. So what is the rolling update? Like in CS 2.0 also it's the same feature. Like if any applications get deployed and that is running, and you have updated some code or properties, then on that condition, whenever you will deploy it again, rolling update, it will keep the first one active till the next one get deployed, till the next deployed. So if the next deployed, then the first one stopped. And recreate, it will stop the first one, then it will start the next one. So in this case, it will not available for all the time. It may affect the zero downtime. So it is advisable to go for rolling update, but yeah, as per the business requirement, you can select any application deployment method, either for rolling update or recreate. And horizontal scaling and vertical scaling also we can do in CS2.2, like increasing the vcourse sizes, and you can go for vertical scaling, increasing the number of replicas. You can go for the horizontal scaling. And CS2.2 supports intelligent healing and zero downtime. So for achieving the zero downtime, uh, go for the rolling update also, so that it will not stop the first one, and it will then it will not stop the first one, and it will wait for the next deployment. So intelligent healing, like if your application is deployed in any availability zone, and because of any reason it got crashed, so it will start the next replica to get deployed in the nearest availability zone, or on the same availability zone if that is like it is capable to start then. Now that Cloud Hub 2 stores 200 MB data, 200 MB of log data per config, and or up to 30 days. Like if it reaches 200 MB within 3 or 4 days, then it will work as a FIFO itself, like the first in first out. So if so it will start taking the new one and the previous one will get deleted. Or else if 200 MB is not achieved in 30 days, then it will start deleting the first one, and accordingly it will start the taking the 31st day, 32 days, the logs over there. So whichever limit is reached, it will work accordingly. So we have a small architecture diagram for this Cloud Hub 2. So we will discuss in detail for private space and shared space. So yeah, in Cloud Hub 2, as you are aware, related to our runtime fabric, then it is similar to runtime fabric, but over here control plane and runtime plane both is handled by MuleSoft itself. And Cloud Hub 1 also both runtime plane and control plane is handled by MuleSoft itself. But in RTF runtime RTF it is different. Runtime plane is handled uh, by client itself, or like the person who is handling those things, and control plane is handled by MuleSoft. So Cloud Hub 2 works mainly on two major components like endpoint platform services and shared global regions. Platform services, using that you can perform lots of operations. You can perform check logs, monitorings, and you can define replicas and the number. You can increase the number of replicas. You can increase the number of echoes also. Now we'll go for the next topic that is related to shared space framework in detail and private space framework in detail. So as I said in the starting itself, like private space is mainly used for the multi-tenant space. Moreover, like wherever you do not require any connection for the local data center, or like on-premise data center, or private cloud. So is it advisable if you do not have any requirement, if you are just contributing for the community, MuleSoft community, or if you want to just host for the publicly, then go for the shared space. And and last mile security and SSL forwarding also supported over here. Yeah. So if you have also requirement, like you need to use your own vanity domain. So for every business group it's required. So yeah, if it is like that, if you want to create your own vanity domain also, then don't go for the shared space framework. Now we'll see the architecture diagram also for the shared space framework. So yeah, our main application is getting deployed on shared space itself. That is a multi-tenant environment. Multi-tenant, it means like any other business group also, any other clients also, they can deploy that on that shared space. This is not your personal one, so it can this is not your personal one, but no one can if you have applied some policies over there, then it will not get uh, read by the other business groups. So yeah, but still it's a multi-tenant, so it's like a rental space. So this application is getting deployed on shared space, and that shared space is available in Cloud Hub 2. Now, if any client want to access this shared space, and as I said, shared space can only connect with the public cloud, no private cloud, no on data center. So if assume that this application is calling to target system, that is a public cloud. So this URL you will see whenever you will deploy your any application on shared space, this type of URL will getting generated by MuleSoft. Now, earlier in CH1.0, the structure is like my app dot region, then cloudhub.io. So on that condition, if you want to host any of your, if you want to host any API, then on that condition, your app name should be unique in CH1.0. But in CH2.0, that is not required. The same app name can used by different business group also. Like if you are using hello world dot USAW to cloudhub.io, and any other business groups also using the same hello world.usaw to cloudhub.io, that is then on that condition it is not possible. But in CS 2.2 it is possible, because CS 2.0 is adding unique ID from their side. Yeah, unique ID from their side itself, and that is unique for every business group, and shared ID in which region you have deploying, so it will get added from there. So I have kept that example over here also. So if you are deploying MuleSoft as banking API name, that is the app name. So this six letter alphanumeric a unique ID should be generated by MuleSoft, and the six alphanumeric number also added by MuleSoft itself for shared space ID. For every shared space, they have some unique space shared ID they are adding over there. And what is number 3 over here? So if your application get deployed on availability zone 3, then it will add 3 over here. If your application get deployed on availability zone 1 on that shared space, like USA E2, it's a region. So over here, assume that there are three availability zone. So the number 3 represents that your application deployed on the third number of availability zone. If number 1 over here, then it deployed on the number 1 availability zone. So similarly, this type of URL getting generated after the deployment of your application in shared space framework. Yeah, so we covered the shared space framework. uh, and after that, let's start for the private space framework also. Yeah, so private space framework supports TLS context, and you can connect with private and corporate data center. That it may possible that on-premise data center also, and cloud private cloud also. So in private space, like it's nothing but like a VPC itself, which we are using in CH1.0. Over there, we are conferring load balancer also, but in private space there is the ingress load balancer, which is handled which work as a similar to load balancer itself over here. So for every yeah, the same related to shared space also. For whenever we are deploying any application, they are generating one public URL for this. The same is getting generated in private space framework also. So and if you want, like your API do not be get exposed publicly, so you can just delete that private URL and you can define your own vanity domain over there, so that and apply your certificates and apply your securities over there directly. Last mile security and SSL forwarding also supported by a private space. And now coming to API-led connectivity, like just for giving the brief, like how API-led connectivity we can define over here in private space framework. So assume that you have experience API that need to be exposed publicly, but private space and system API we are not exposing publicly, right? So because we are using this for internal purpose also only. So for so process and system API, it would be as advisable to delete that public URL and just use the internal URL which is available in ingress controller website, ingress controller itself. So you can just copy that, and accordingly you can call from experience to process, and from process to system, as per your requirement or as per your logic. So yeah, so private space framework, as said, like it is you can define your own vanity domain. So it is more beneficial than shared space, wherever you can apply your security all policies over there, and accordingly you can work over here. So let's see the architecture diagram also. Yeah, so this our application is deployed on private space, and if you need to connect with any VPC, either AWS VPC or Azure VPC, then you can go for the transit gateway. Earlier, we have options for VPC peering also and direct connect, but that is not available in CS2.0. For VPC peering and direct connect, we need to connect with MuleSoft support team, and we need to ask them to configure for ourselves. But that is now it is available itself in transit gateway. So you just need to go for the transit gateway if you are connecting with the clouds. And if you are going for the connect for the on-premise data center, then go for the VPN IPsec tunnel and configure accordingly. So both are configured from our side itself. We don't need to rely on MuleSoft support team. Now ingress controller, so whenever the request we are getting from client or from user, so the application, this is a vanity domain over here. So there is one public public URL also that is generated by every API. So you can either delete that, or you can, if you want, then you can use for both, or you need to perform the DNS activity also to make it route. And ingress load balancer also. So ingress load balancer, yeah, as I said, you will see over here both public URL and private URL. So as per your requirement, you can use the both URL. Now coming to the advantage itself, so the main advantage like VPC pairing and direct connect is now not available in CS2.2, because it was for connecting using these two methods, we need to connect with MuleSoft support team. Now in CH2.2, it's a self-configurable, so it's a good point as comparison to CH1.0. And coming to the load balancer logs, in CH1.2 we are not able to download the load balancer log, but in our CH2.2 we can download load balancer logs also. So that is beneficial to see like what is happening and how your request is getting routed, and how much loads over there. Now more granular resource capacity, I think I already explained in the first slide itself. Like more granular, you have a option for vCores. You can define 0.5, 1.5. So as per your business requirement, you can save vCores, and accordingly you can define your size. But in CH 1.2, we don't have that much granular options available. Now, as per the code terms in CH 1.2, whenever we are defining scheduler, we don't have any option to define own time zone. We need to adjust it. Like if you are in CET time zone, then you need to adjust UTC plus and minus accordingly to define. But in CH 2.2, you can select your own time zone also. By default, if you are not selecting anything, then it will take the same which is available in CH 1.2, that is the UTC time zone. And log4j configuration also, as you're aware, like why we are using log4j configuration. So in CH 1.2 we don't have options directly you can see or configure. We need to connect with MuleSoft support team, but CH 2.2 log4j configurations is also available. That is by default, we don't need to connect with MuleSoft support team. Limitations, yeah. So in CS 2.2, they have removed the persistence queues, and now on place of that, you need to use any time queue or any other MQ brokers. Persistent queue is not right now, not right now. It is not available in present in CS 2.2 because they are using clustering for now. So it is advisable to not. That's why they have removed this persistent queues over here. And the custom connector in like CH 1.2 on applications, we are using custom connector to for sending some info, for sending some notifications and all. But CH 2.2, this connector is not available, so you need to update your code accordingly. You need to use any other custom notifications as per your requirement, but you cannot use the custom connector for now in MuleSoft 2. So CS2. TLS 1.0 is also not available in CS 2.2, so you need to update according. You need to work accordingly. Like TLS 1.2 and 1.2, you can go for that. Data graph and flex gateway are still in roadmap. So if you are using graph and flex gateway in your business group or in your applications, then yeah, you need to think about this before moving to CS 2.2. Yeah, but still they are as in roadmap. So yeah, surely we'll get some news soon. Now, this is our main topic, that is related to migration from CH 1.2 to CH 2.2. So currently there is no any automatic tool or no any automatic options to directly migrate from 1 to 2. So we need to perform some manual activities. As we are every business group, we are following CI/CD method, right? So it would be advised. So I will give the migration steps for CI/CD pipeline itself by giving Mule Maven plugin commands and all. So the first step, it would be required or required only, like you need to update your pom.xml with cloud of configuration. For CH 1.0 also, like we are adding our cloud of configurations, but in CH 2.0 their configurations detail is a bit different. So I will show that at the time of demo. And distribution management also we need to add for CH 2.2. For some applications, for some business group, they have already business distribution management, but it is compulsory in CS 2.2. You need to define distribution management. Only on that, after that only you can deploy your code in runtime manager. And why distribution management is available, so we'll explain the third point. Like uh, earlier we are deploying directly our API in runtime manager. We don't have to worry related to exchange, but in CS 2.0 there is like slight difference over here. Now we need to push our code in exchange first, and after that only we can go for the runtime manager deployment. This is only applicable for CI/CD. If you are directly deploying using zip file, then it's okay, then you can deploy directly in runtime manager. Though we are not performing that options, we are every project for every business group performing CI/CD method itself using Maven command. So yeah, so for that we need to first push our code in exchange. and after that only we can go for the runtime manager. In CH1.0, that is not like that. We are directly performing the deployment command, that is mn clean deploy minus t mule deploy, and directly we are sending code in runtime manager in CH1. Yeah. So these are the three basic steps which we need to perform for every migration, for every API migration from CH1 to CH2.0. And as per, I have noted some points also. Like for scheduler-based applications, as I said, you can define your own time zone as per your requirement, and uh, if you don't want to define, then by default it will take your UTC time zone. So that's okay. And if you are using VM persistent queues, then you need to think and you need to update your queues either for any point time queue or for any other alternative broker. So uh, you just need to keep a note for all your API, like what all the things you are using right now. If you are using data graph, Flex Gateway also, then you need to think like whether we'll go for on CS2.2 or not. Yeah, and inbound and outbound static IPs. So inbound and outbound static IPs, if your API is using static IPs, and why we are using static IPs, let's discuss that too. So assume that if any target system want your particular IP, they don't want like every time a new IP. They just want your IP to be whitelist. So you need to give one IP. So in CH1.2, what we are doing, we are adding one static IP in our runtime manager for every API at application level itself. And that you may aware like static IP is chargeable, and in titanium account or platinum account, we are getting a particular number of static IP itself. If you need more static IP, then you need to pay for that. Okay, so assume that you have four applications, and four applications wants the same is hitting the same target system, and then on that condition you need to define four static IPs for every API. Okay, but in CS2.2 this is not like that. In CS2.2, whenever we are creating private space, so we are getting inbound static IPs and outbound static IPs, and inbound static IPs and outbound static IPs depends upon the number of availability zone for that region. Like if you have created your private space on US region, and over there are three availability zones, so it will create three inbound static IPs and three outbound static IPs. So whatever you need to do, you just need to communicate to the target system that these three outbound static IPs we have, and just configure these three static IPs. You will get request from either of them. So before migrating, you just need to think this point also. Like if you have a static IP defined at application level, then just inform your target system like with the private space outbound static IPs. Hope this point is clear. Now in CH, now the fourth point, this is related to for development purpose itself, like for properties which we are seeing in runtime manager, and for hiding those properties at the time of development, we are defining that properties in mule artifact.json to hide that. But in CS2.2, you can define secure properties at the time of in the pom.xml itself inside that cloud of configuration. We'll show in demo also this how we can hide our values in pom.xml. Sorry, for properties in pom.xml. Now we'll go for the demo on this. Like, do you have any questions or okay?
Yeah, Roshan, we had, but I think we are good with the answers
Okay,
from Akhil.
okay, then it's okay. So I already created one banking system API YAML over here, and already published.
Hi Roshan, sorry to interrupt you. I have Nitish and Roshan. I have one question actually. Okay, which
Uh,
recently come up with me. So, in a limitation, there is a for SMTP outbound. There is a limitation for sending the mails. I think earlier, I guess I think 20 mail per hour, something like that for one cloud of 1.0 or 2.0. If you know about this,
limitations for SMPP.
SMTP outbound limits, I can say.
Outbound limits. I'm not sure for that. If you are talking about firewall rules, then
No, no,
just
not
a second,
firewall rules. This is for
SMTP. Mm,
SMTP. Mail actually.
yeah, got it. But I think we need to check the documentation. I'm not sure how many request means we can set.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So I already created one basic RAML just for demo purpose, and added API ID for that auto discovery ID. Why we are using auto discovery ID to apply contracts, policies, basic thing I already applied over here. Just added one policies also for the example client ID enforcement. Added contracts. Why I am showing this? So whenever we'll go for the migration, we'll show that like it is not impacting anything, and it is directly getting migrated from CH1.0 to CH2.0. So publish my API in banking system API over here, and yes. For just saving the time, I'm not going to deploy in CH1.2 again. So I already deployed half an hour back. MuleSoft has banking. It is deployed in CloudHub 1.2. So either you can take directly the Java from over here, or you can take that code from your repo itself, either Bitbucket and whatever the code repository you are using. So I just copied all those codes over here. This is the same pump for MuleSoft as banking, which I deployed in CloudHub 1. And CloudHub 1 also, if I deployed using MuleMaven plugin itself. So this is the CloudHub 1 deployment configurations, URL MuleSoft, username, password. In username and password, you can use your connected app credentials also. So over here, I am using username, password. You can use connected app credential. You can define these things in your setting.xml like this. Let me show you. I open my setting.xml. So user cred you can define. Over there you can pass your username and password. If you are using connected app cred, then you just need to define client username like this. And this is the client ID. This is the client secret. And accordingly you can use by defining server over here. Just removing this and just define this server. Now application name the same which I defined in artifact.json, which I defined in artifact ID over here. Environment sandbox worker and endpoint platform client ID. This is for the deployment. This is for the applying the policy. This client ID in secret is for the sandbox environment. Yeah, so this is for the cloud of one configuration for mule maven plugin. We'll go for cloud hub 2. So I created one small document, not document, yeah, means copied all the values over here for just saving the time. So CH1.2 I explained. Now we'll go for CH2.2. This is the configuration details. We'll explain again for this. Let me make it bigger so that it will all be in same page. Yeah, the same URI provided are to send the same environment. You can make it externalize also. Over here, I am just deploying in sandbox. So I directly write in target as I am deploying in shared space itself. If you are using the private space, then you need to define your private space name over here. Username and password you can define. I said like you can use server also. So let's use server over here. I'm using this username and password because connected app create also we can use for connected app create. Um, for Cloud Hub 2, we are performing two actions, right? We are sending our code in Exchange also and deploying runtime manager. So for connected app roles, you can define these roles for group level. This is for pushing your code in Exchange. This is for deploying your applications. So you can see that connected app over here also. Yeah, this is my connected app cred, connected app. I copied the same client ID and secret in setting.xml, and at the place of server right now I'm using user cred. On that place you can use this connected app cred also. and provided the same scopes over here. I added some more scopes for different purpose. Yeah, but using this scopes only, you can achieve your goal for deployments for in CH2.0. Now let's go in pom.xml again. Let me add this user cred over here. Business group, this is your business group ID, which you can take from any points to platform itself. Application name, artifact ID same, the replica I'm using 1 itself, we go using 0.1. Client ID and secret, this is useful for sandbox applying policies and all. So right now I'm defining one as a properties and one as a secure properties, so that if as I'm defining this client secret as secure properties, so whenever we will deploy this application, I will show you in runtime manager that this value get uh, protected. You cannot see this value. Okay, so this is the first step which I mentioned, like you need to add this configuration details. The second steps I mentioned, we need to add distribution management mule for pushing our code. So let's go on this tab. Let me copy this distribution management. Let me paste over here. So whatever the name you are using over here means user create, so define the same ID over here. Or if you are using connected app create, then define the same in both places. And it is common for all. You just you can copy from MuleSoft website itself, MuleSoft website, and project group ID. I just externalize it, so it will take from over here itself, project.group ID. So these two things which we need to perform at pom.xml label, and the remaining things like for changing the UTC time zone and for persistent queues, for Flex Gateway and data roadmap. So Flex Gateway and other things you need to perform at the code level. Flex Gateway, though it is not available in CH2.0. So yeah, so the remaining things you can perform. Now we'll go for the deployment. In software banking itself. Okay. In PPT, as I mentioned, like for in CH1.2, we don't need to move in Exchange. So we'll try without moving the Exchange, and we'll see like whether it is getting deployed in runtime manager or not in CH2.2. As we configured CH2.2 details in pom.xml, so we'll deploy. Let's try to deploy in directly without pushing. It will give error like artifact is not available. Yeah, let's see over here. Building zip. Yeah, so as I said, it will not deployed and it will give like that artifact is not available, bad request. GAV is not available. GAV is like group ID, artifact ID, and version. So that is not available in Exchange. Could not be retrieved from Exchange. So we need to push our code in Exchange first. After that, only we can go for the deployment in Runtime Manager. So let's push this code in Exchange first. Yeah, for pushing the code, the command is mvn clean deploy itself. IX, which I added in PPT also. So whenever we are pushing our code, it's going to Exchange, and whenever we are performing this deployment, it's taking the code from Exchange also, Exchange, and accordingly it get deployed on Runtime Manager. And the deployment time also is very less in CH2.0. Whenever you will see, let's you can try also. Whenever you will deploy your application in CH1.0, it will take lot time, but in CH2.0 it is taking very less time. So it is more faster than one. Now it is getting uploaded in Exchange. You can see the progress over here. So it's the size is 66 MB. Now it is progressing. Meanwhile, I just want to highlight one more thing. So this Cloud Hub 2 it will work with 4.3.0 mule version is greater than 4.3 or 4.30 means I 4.30 also it will work, or for the higher version it will work. Below that it will not work. The same for mule maven plugin also, it is recommended to use 3.8.1, either this or greater than this version. So these the two things you just need to keep your mind before running any command related to related to Maven deployment. If you go for the lower version, then it will give you some error. Yeah, I mean, whenever it is in progress, let's go over here.
Roshan, I
So
have a question here. How is the cost calculated in Cloud Hub 2 for app deployment?
it is same like CH1.0 itself. It depends upon the number. It's depend upon vCore itself, number of vCores.
Okay.
It does not depend like image, how many images you have created. It depends upon size itself. If you have about for your business group 50 vehicles in CH1, in CH2.2 it will also work on number of size 50 vehicles itself.
Okay. Thank you.
So as this question arises, so just to want to highlight, so before migrating from CH1.2 to CH2.2, and if you have about 50 vehicles for your business group and you already use 48, so so whenever you will migrate from 1 to 2, will not stop the first one, right? Because that is not advisable. It will go for uh, uh, that application will not available. So it would be advisable like add some more vehicles, add some more vehicles in your business group, so that so it's, as you can see, MuleSoft as banking, it have 0.1 vehicles. And again, if I'll deploy in Cloud Hub 2, it will not stop this one, it will create a new one over here. So then it will also take 0.1 vehicles. So accordingly you need to think about it before moving. Let's reserve some vehicles for the deployment and go for the deployment. If you have 100 APIs, then go for the deployment phase wise, like go for 5, then go for 10, so that you can use your vehicles. If it get deployed in 2, then stop the first one. to free those vcores which was available in CH1.0. Yeah, so the build success, let me show you. So over here you can also see that whatever we post from CMD using Maven in Exchange, you cannot see directly over here. So you just need to pass one more query over here, like type and type equal to app. Whenever we are publishing through raml, and then it is coming as a rest, and now whenever we are pushing our code from exchange, it is coming as application over here. So as we have post 1.00 version, so you can see 1.00 version is available in exchange. Now we'll go for the deployment. So the deployment command is same, which is with ch1.2. So we'll go for the deployment. So
Roshan, you are deploying it from command prompt directly. So suppose we have some pipeline, through which we have to deploy. So what we need to configure and how we need to first publish it to exchange from that pipeline.
So if you are using, if you want to use the same pipeline, then you need to alter it. I mean, you need to update it, or you can go for the new creation of pipeline. So on that condition, you need to push your code first in Exchange, then go for the deployment. If you are whatever the performance you are performing in your CH1.2, do the same over here also, but just you just need to add one more step, that is pushing your code in Exchange.
Any specific con- content that you have that we will have to put it in pipeline configuration. Do you have that?
Pipeline pipeline configuration, you need to follow the same commands, but as per your business group, sorry, as per your project itself. So if you are taking code from Bitbucket, so perform those actions accordingly. But before moving for the runtime manager deployment, you just need to perform one more action, that is for the exchange. And for if you are asking about any particular document, then I don't have that any particular document, but yeah, we did like that only. Means we just altered our pipeline and accordingly we performed action.
If you can show us like what you added specifically for exchange, pushing it to exchange.
Uh, so in pipeline, what we are doing, we are just passing the maven command itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So assume that you have 4 or 5 steps in your pipeline, and perform all those operations. But before that, going for the deployment, the main final deployment, you just need to add one more step over there. That is for exchange. I cannot show that. Means I can't show that pipeline steps over here because I need to log in the my project environment. So I think that is not advisable. So if you can correct separately to me on LinkedIn, then I can give you that information.
And
For example,
yes, Rohan, one more thing. See, as in CH 1.0, already we deployed and it is already in exchange, right? So when we are
uh,
migrating from one to two, so again we need to deploy in exchange that things because in
no, in CH 1.2, we are not deploying it, we are not pushing our code in Exchange. Whatever you can, whatever you are saying over here, that is a RAML publish. Let me show you.
no,
Right. So there are two things.
in the pipeline actually in our pipeline actually we have exchange right before deploying and test right. So that time we were
Okay.
deploying exchange. So if you already your code is in exchange right, so you're not required to uh, push in the code in the
Yeah.
exchange again. For
Yeah. If you are performing that same operation CH 1.2 also, like if you are we are pushing code in Exchange in CH 1.2 also, then yeah, you don't need to perform this.
right, okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So for design center, if you are pushing, if you are publishing your code in Exchange, then it is publishing as a REST API. But whenever you are pushing code from
From any pipeline or somewhere that will be as a, going to as a build actually, right?
correct, yeah, and you can see like this over here,
Yes.
applications.
Applications, yes.
Now, as you can see, like it got deployed on CH2.0. Let's go on the runtime manager. Yeah, so this is on one, this is on two. So let's try to hit it. So CH2.0, we have 8081 port that is reserved for HTTP and HTTPS. So yeah, so if you define anything related to that, if you are using reserved property, then it's okay. It will take by default. Yeah, now let's hit to CH2.2. Let me change this URL. Sorry. Yeah, as I said, this is your six alphanumeric number which is added by MuleSoft itself. This is a shared ID deployed on availability zone 2. So this is number 2 over here. It's a reason, and it's cloudhub.io, which is common for CH1.0 also. So let's hit this. I just added one transform message for the example, so you will see the message over here. We have added client ID credential also using API ID. So I added client ID secret also over here to just check. If you make it wrong, then it will not work. CH1.2 also it is active, so you can hit that too. See, you can see you are getting response from 1 and 2. So after successfully deployment for CH2.2, it would be advisable then only go for the deletion of CH1.2 applications. And as I mentioned, like for vCourse, your vCourse is getting used in 1 also and in 2 also. So it would be advisable uh, keep some vCourse in your parking so that you can use for the migration. And you can see your vCourse size over here. Business group. Sorry, where is that Vico size? So just want to show like your Vico size is used for CH1 and CH2. It is same. Like this is there is no difference. Like for CH2, we will get additional Vicos. For CH1, it will be different. It all comes in a same bucket. So whatever you are using, you just need to keep some Vicos for the migration, and it would be advisable to go for migration phase wise.
But in this case, Rohan, the customers would have to pay more actually. You have to buy some more vCodes for suppose you said right 100 application. So there is a one more
Hmm.
option that you tell ki it will go in by in 2 3 phases, right? 3 4 phases, 100 application,
Yeah,
right?
so if you have 100 applications and for every applications you are using one vCore
Right.
and you only have 100 applications, then yeah, you need to go for some additional vCores. Like you need to can buy 5 more or 10 more. But if you have 90 applications and you have 100 vCores and all 90 applications are using one vCore, so you already have 10 vCores. So you can go for the migration means phase wise. You can
Right.
go 10 applications at a time, and after deploying CH2.2 you can stop the CH1 applications to free those vehicles for the next phase migration.
Okay. So any timeline for this to stop existing one which we deployed in 1.0 as per the business
No,
any
it all depends upon
okay
business
okay
means whatever you want to perform. If you want to perform, if you want to make active both, then you can go for that too. But that will be like additional
right
cost for the project, right?
okay.
No, so Roshan, any timeline for till when they will be supporting 1.2 MuleSoft?
Right now they are not forcing, like, but for the new business groups, it means if you are going for a new business group, then they make it compulsory to go for CH 2.0 itself. They are not giving CH 1.0 for now, but those applications or those business groups, they are already using CH 1.2. They are not they are suggesting to go for the migration, but they are not like making it compulsory, you need to go only. There is no timeline for now.
Okay.
Yeah, any other questions?
Yeah, Roshan, for me, I have some questions. What are the things that we need to configure at the platform level for private space? I mean, how do we configure those things? Because we have to do certain configuration, right? Then we can go with the deployments for the APIs.
Yeah, the private space, firstly, we need to create the private space itself. At the time of creating private space, you will get inbound static IPs, outbound static IPs. So in CH1, if you are using static IPs, then you need to inform them to your target system. At platform level itself, you need to define inbound rules, outbound rules, HTTP, HTTPS, TCP, whatever you are using. And DNS configurations also you need to do for vanity domain and all. And after getting this private space, at the time of deployment, whether I use it pom.xml, I use shared space details over here, right? So you need to define your private space details. Where is that? Yeah, cloud of your target. You need to give your target as private space, and I have one private space details also. Let me show you this too. So this is getting deployed on private space. So for properties, these are the basic properties which we are using, right? So mule environment, analytics basics, secure properties into define deployment setting. Also you can define update strategy, rolling. If you want to use rolling, then you can use rolling over here. If you want to for recreate, then you can use recreate. Clustered mode you can define public URL, forward SSL setting, last mile security. So uh, this plugin, this is for private space itself. So according as per your requirement, according as per your business requirement, you can go for the settings, and you can do from platform itself. But in platform level, you just need to go and create the private space, and after that you can go for CI/CD itself via adding all the requirements in pom.xml.
So if we set up private space, it will not impact any of the existing applications that are deployed to Cloud of 1.0, right? And we have
No, it will not impact. It will not impact anything.
okay. And other thing was related to static IPs. So we will get, at the private space itself, not at the application level. So now suppose if we are consuming, if we are using one of the IPs for one of the application, while hitting.
Uh-huh.
So since it is at a private space level, so can we use the same IP for some other client also, or we cannot use it since it is already being used?
Sorry, I think I didn't get question, but yeah, if let me repeat, if it is same, then we'll ensure you. So if you want to say like for target system, we defined one static IP in CH1.2, and now we are using in CH2.0. So there is no static IP concept at application level.
Mhm.
That is on private space level itself. So uh, let me show you. Though it's a free account, so we cannot create, but yeah, at least I can show you. So whenever you will create, you will get static IPs over here. So if your region supports three availability zone, then you will get three static IPs for inbound and outbound. Also, you get three. So for target system, we are using static IP in CH1.2, that is application level. So now what you need to do, you need to communicate to your target system with these three IPs, which you will get in at the time of private space creation. So for this, you can say it's as an advantage also, or it's as a disadvantage also, because assume that you have 20 applications, and you just want your target system get hit by three applications itself. But on that condition, if your private space contains 20 applications, if they also want to hit that target system, then they can hit it, because these IPs are now at private space level, and that 20 applications is available in that private space.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And one thing, like, what is the exact difference between inbound and outbound traffic?
Inbound static IP is like for if you want to give your IPs to any means anyone who is hitting to your applications, and they want to hit your applications, and you just don't want to provide that much details, you just share your static IPs details with endpoint details, then they can hit
So
you.
any one of the IP I can share out of three, and they will be able to.
Out of three, yeah. If your applications available in all three availability zones, then it would be advisable to share all three. Or though it will be get routed internally, so it not be an issue. You can share any one also.
Okay. And if we want to whitelist any of the IPs, then that will be outbound, right? Static IP.
Uh, yes.
Okay. And one question was related to ingress. Since you are saying that we can use ingress for process and system APIs.
Yeah,
So,
correct.
will it do the load balancing if we use that ingress load balancer, and how?
Yes. Yes. The load balancer is get handled at ingress level itself. Okay. And so this is a shared space, so you will get only one public endpoint over here. So if you are in private space, then you can configure your own endpoint with your own vanity domain over here, and you can delete it, and those information you can uh, share through pom.xml itself. You can see over here. I think I've added, yeah, public URL you can mention over here. So over here you can mention your own URL, so that it will you can see over your own URL itself. You will not see this public URL which is getting generated by MuleSoft. And for private space, you will get public endpoint also and private endpoint also. You will, whenever you will uh, configure with private space, then you can see over here there is one more option with private URL. So that is useful for system API and process API. So if you want to call from experience to system, experience to process, then go for that endpoint itself, so that it will not be available publicly. It is available on this in this domain itself.
So will it do the load balancing? It will have one endpoint only, right? And we are trying to deploy it on two replicas.
Yeah, it the load balance is done by ingress level itself. We don't need to like worry on those things. It get handled by MuleSoft.
Okay.
Any other questions? I think we don't have